everyone, it's Kayla, and it is real close to Halloween, like really close by the time that you see this video. But I thought just going with Halloween and like fall sort of mashed together, I would do a sort of book recommendation video for kind of fun, nice books to read in the fall and Halloween time. Not all of these books are necessarily scary. In fact, I don't think any of them are, just because of the fact I'm scared of everything, so I can't read scary books or that'll freak me out even more. They're more mystical and just have maybe spooky elements to them, but they're not necessarily scary. But without further ado, we'll get right into it. The first book that I have to share with you is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I did read this. The book review is coming. I read this forever ago and I just never made the book review for it, but it's coming. This is obviously, I don't even think that there's any element up to it that's fall other than children like going back to school in the beginning of it, because you know you go back to school in the fall time. But I don't know, I just think the Harry Potter books are so like warm and just nice to read, and this just like takes you back to the original 7 Harry Potter books. And I think it's just a nice like comfort read. It's great to read on like a cold day with a blanket, and since it's a play, you can just flip right through it real quick. The next fall Halloween book that I have to share with you is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. This book is about an angel and someone who may or may not be like technically like a demon. It's got a very like spooky-esque vibe to it. I think it's got just the way the characters in it can be very like scary. Yeah, this is a really good book. There are 3 books in this series, so it's a trilogy. This one was my favorite. I think it just got progressively worse with the next 2, so if you want to read this one and then stop, like, that's what I would do, to be honest. The next book that I have to share with you is No Country for Old Men by Cormac McCarthy. This isn't like a YA sort of like fantasy like thingamajig, really. It's more of, it's a novel. Cormac McCarthy is like really famous for his novels, and you might have to read it in school or something. I read it separately because I read one of his other books for school, but I got this book for fall/Halloween because it's very intense. It's very sort of like everyone's watching your back. It's very like people out to get you. It is really hard to follow because Cormac has a very particular style. Sometimes he doesn't always like to use people's first names, so you never know who he's talking about. Half the time he doesn't like to use punctuation. It's just all over the place, but it's a very dark book, and so it really fits this Halloween time of the year. The next books I have to share with you are sort of like, it's read both of them if you want, or either one of them, but it's Sharp Objects and then Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I do have Dark Places by her, I just have not read it yet. These 2 books are good. This one's the best. I think this is her last, not her last book ever, but out of the Sharp Objects, Dark Places, and Gone Girl, this is the most recent, I think. This, I'm pretty sure, was her first book. It's good, it's just a little, like, some parts of it aren't that great, but these books are both very dark. If you have seen Gone Girl, the movie, then the book is basically exactly like the movie. They all deal with, like, murder mysteries and just really dark things, and I think that they're really fun to read at this time of the year. Another book I have to share with you today is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, and I feel like this book is not hyped, but I also don't have a Tumblr anymore, so maybe it's more hyped than I like know about, because I feel like Tumblr is like just where you find out everything that's like book related. But these books, there are 4 of them in the Raven cycle, and they are so good. They are high fantasy, like you have to go through all sorts of crazy stuff, learn about all different things, but it's so fun. And it's so interesting, and it's just very mythical and magical, which is why I would suggest it for the Halloween season. It's really great. You fall in love with all of the characters. They're each so unique, and it's just such a great read. The next book that I have to show you is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. This one is slightly more on the spooky side just because of the pictures and illustrations in it, but if you actually read the book, it's not that scary. It is like more magical. It's about peculiar children with these peculiar powers, and when I first saw this book on my shelf, I was like, no, that looks scary, that looks like a scary book, but it's just the illustrations that are a little bit spooky. The actual book itself is not scary at all. The next book that I have to show you is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, and I could have really pulled out any of the Mortal Instruments or Infernal Devices or Dark Artifice books, but I just pulled City of Bones. I think that these books are really good to read in the winter time. They deal with these people called shadow hunters, and they kill demons, and I think that's a good Halloween concept, you know, the demons and everything. But these books are fabulous. I know that a lot of people have read these, but if you haven't, definitely pick them up. They're so good. She writes so many, so you'll just like be able to read these books for forever, and once you read it, you'll see why you would want to do that. The last book that I have for you is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin, and this book is so good. Oh my goodness. This is a part of a trilogy. I would recommend reading the first and second books. If you really feel led to read the third one, then you can. Third one's a little bit of a letdown, but this book is so good. This book is really creepy. When I first read it, I was a little tedious, and I did feel a little unsure about if I should finish it because this girl had a really horrible, tragic accident happen to her and her friends. Her friends are dead now, but for some reason we keep seeing her friends. We're getting that weird, blood, writing on mirrors crap going on. We think she may, have a ghost or something following her, or, we're thinking she might be possessed at some point. And just the way Michelle Hodkin writes it makes it so real and believable, and it's a little bit scary, but I would definitely read this. It's a great book, and it'd be a good read in the fall season. Those are all the books that I have to share with you today. I hope that y'all enjoyed this video, and that if you pick up one of the recommendations I gave you, that you'd let me know, and we could talk about it. And I just hope everyone has a great day, and a happy Halloween. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye!